everyone, today's topic is mathematics in the world of architecture. Almost everything we can think of was made with the help of some aspect within the study of mathematics. Math is not only used on its own, but within technology, medicine, clothing, food, architecture, and so much more. Buildings, structures, and cities are essential to our existence. Without math, we would find ourselves in a world with collapsing bridges, falling skyscrapers, and dangerous buildings, all due to the lack of accurate measurements. As a result, architecture and mathematics have always been closely related. Ancient history shows how early civilians constructed buildings with mathematical properties. As they both continue to advance across time, architects have begun to use more complicated mathematical formulas and techniques. For example, during the medieval period, architects found shapes to support the high walls of tall buildings. Arches distributed the forces evenly on key pressure points. Math mainly solves the issue of gravity in such ways. As you already know, skyscrapers need strong foundations, and so mathematics helps to design structures that will be able to resist falling under the pressure of strong forces like wind or earthquakes. In terms of creating a sturdy structure, triangles tend to be the strongest shape for providing skyscrapers with the support they need. The reason why triangles are the strongest shape is because they have fixed angles. As a result, when there is pressure on one of the edges, the force is shared among the other two sides as well as triangles to the side. Architects express their design images on a drawing that can be used by those involved in construction in order to create something larger. In this process, mathematics is used to analyze and calculate measurements in an attempt to create a stable standing structure. Architects often encounter many mathematical terms and have to give them some thought when finding the best way to design a building. Area is the space occupied by the surface of an object or structure. Perimeter is the length of the outer edge of an area. Angles are where intersecting lines and surfaces meet at a certain point. Even when creating famous architectural structures, the leading architects had to take into account the area, perimeter, angles, and the weight of the building in order to guarantee it would be a long-lasting, successful project. As you can see, to the right there is a more complex building, and to the left a more simpler design. In both pictures, try to spot as many shapes as possible. Now, in order to be brought to life, understand how architects will have to scale these simpler structures, such as the one to the left, in order to bring it to life. When scaling these designs, not only do architects use numbers, but also different sums, equations, geometry, and much more mathematical thinking. To be more specific, blueprints are the design plans that architects create before the construction process. They then take the measurements of the smaller version or blueprint of the building and multiplied by a scale factor that will provide the measurements for a much larger structure. By doing so, they will be able to keep an appropriate ratio between the two. For example, to the right is a smaller square with a side length of 4 inches. If we were to scale the smaller square and multiply by 4 on all sides, we would end up with a larger version of the same shape. The larger square would be 4 times larger than the smaller one, and the ratios between the two would remain correct. Architects express their design images on a drawing that can be used by those involved in construction in order to create something larger. In this process, mathematics is used to analyze and calculate measurements in an attempt to create a stable, standing structure. Sizes and shapes of the elements within design are possible to describe thanks to principles such as the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is a formula used anytime we have a right angle. We know the length of 2 sides, and we want to find the third side. Architects also use geometry to define the spatial form of a building, as well as create beautiful designs. And that wraps it up. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you learned something new.